Hey guys, it's Laney. Welcome back to the shop. I'm getting ready to start on the next part of the Hickory Chest, which is going to be pre-finishing the panels before they're assembled and glued into their frames. It's always recommended on any frame and panel construction to pre-finish those panels before you put any glue to them. That way, during that time of wood movement, when a wood expands and contracts in its contracted form, you don't have any unsightly, unfinished areas showing through, causing an eyesore in your project. And plus, when you glue those panels into the frame, there's certain areas it's really hard to get that finish to. So it's always best to pre-finish your panels ahead of time, and that's what we're going to do. Now the finish for the project overall is going to be a Tung Oil lacquer finish. The Tung Oil is going to be used as a wash coat to bring out those natural colors and accent that grain of the hickory. And once that wash coat of Tung Oil cures, then we're going to top coat it with its lacquer top coats and eventually rub it out to its final finish. So I've got the chest pre-assembled behind me. I wanted to take some rough measurements of it in its together form to get some rough measurements for the lid as well as the bottom. And also I wanted to get an estimated measurement of how much cedar I'm going to need for the lining, because I've got to get ready to start milling up those cedar boards for the inside of the chest. So what we need to do now is go ahead and disassemble the chest and get those panels ready for their Tung Oil wash coat. Let me get reset up with the cameras and we'll get started on the next part. Alright guys, I've got the chest disassembled. I've got all the parts and everything I need ready to go for this wash coat of Tung Oil. Now the Tung Oil, we're just going to do one light coat, and it's just going to be used to kind of pop or accent the grain. And once it cures, then we're going to put our finish coat on it, which is going to be a lacquer finish coat, and it'll be rubbed out to its final finish. The Tung Oil lacquer combination for the finish was given to me by Mike over at Lumberjocks. Goes under the call sign of Frida's dad over there. Mike, I want to thank you. I think that finish is going to go real nicely with this chest. Not too long ago, I put the word out, talked to a bunch of different people, and said, hey, you know, I want your opinion. I wanted other woodworkers' opinions, and just to see how other woodworkers approach their finishing techniques, or you know, their projects, how they approach their finish. And I said, if this was your chest, how would you finish it? Would you stain it? Would you clear coat it? What would you do? And the majority of results that came back were definitely clear coat this hickory. It's got a natural, nice grain and some real good colors and pattern. You want to accentuate that grain and pop it, but you definitely want to clear coat it. You definitely don't want to stain it. So once again, Mike, thanks for that suggestion. I think it's going to work fine. I don't have a lot of room for error with doing this finish in this part of the video, because once I put the finish on, I can't go back and reshoot if I mess up. So this is kind of like a live shot, basically. An example of that would be this panel here. It's already got the finished wash coat on it, and I did the nice instructional and everything, all before I realized that I didn't have the microphone plugged in. So, with that being said, we're going to start from here. And basically, just to give you an idea, this is a scrap piece. I always do scrap tests on finishes on scrap wood before I go to my actual project. I want to make sure everything is going to work out. I wasn't familiar with the Tung Oil lacquer combination, and I wanted to you know, test it out and see what I thought. This is one coat of Tung Oil as a pre-wash or a wash coat to kind of bring out those colors and grain. You can see the difference between the panel and that piece. And then it was, after it cured, it had a lacquer top coat on it, and I'll let the light reflect off that a little bit so you can kind of see the reflection. So that's what, there you go, somewhere around there. But that's what the result we're looking for. So, all in all, okay, I went back, resanded the panels, cleaned up everything, and now I'm ready to go with the wash coat. I always pour my finishes into other containers just so I don't contaminate my, you know, cans of finish. just want a nice, light, even coat. This hickory will soak in some of this tung oil, and you'll start to see little dull areas. And when you see that, then just go back over and hit it, but you don't want to build up this tung oil finish. Now this isn't pure tung oil. This is a Formsby's tung oil finish, which is a varnish type finish. I wasn't sure about the pure tung oil, so I went with the Formsby's because with this varnish finish, it's got dryers in it, and it'll allow it to, about a week it'll take for it to cure, and then I can go with my lacquer top coats. But I just wanted to bring out that natural, colors in the grain. You can already see the difference of how it's bringing out those natural tones and colors. And, some recommend that you put on tung oil like you would be waxing a car, applying car wax. And I find that I get a lot of swirls in it that way, and so I'm just nice even strokes, making sure that I get every bit of this board. I went through and I I de-dusted my whole shop before I start any finish. I do that just to make sure there's no, chance of any contaminants or anything coming down or affecting my finish. And of course, like with any shop, a good dust extraction system helps quite a bit. And you're not going to be able to get every single piece of dust. There's going to be some left over somewhere, hiding in these nooks and crannies of your shop. But for the most part, you can get a majority of it. And I don't have any real fear of any of my pieces getting contaminated with dust or debris or anything, falling. I'm just going to take a small piece of this rag and get up in this crevice where this raise is to make sure that I don't miss anything. You see any dull areas, like I said, that's just where, this wood is soaking up, and you'll see it around the end grain quite a bit. That's where it's soaking up this tung oil. You can go back over and hit those spots again if you want. Just, once again, you don't want to build up a film or a finish. You just want a nice little wash coat. Of course, this wood, some of it will give it back to you. After about 30 minutes or so, you'll go back and wipe any excess off that, that's sitting on the surface. I think this is the least I've talked in any one of my videos so far. Alright. One panel down. One to go. The other two panels, like I said, I've already done them. I couldn't believe that I looked and there was something missing, and it was the cord to the microphone. So see how it brings out that color change? Big difference, huh? This probably won't be the best video I've made for this segment, because like I said, I can't go back and do retakes or, you know. This tung oil a little bit goes a long way. Definitely don't want to build up a film. Just look, and you know, if you see any dull areas or anything, just take what's left on your rag and go back over. Pretty wood. Alright guys, so there's our wash coat for all the panels. And now, if I can get out of here, a good time If you wanted to, on your rails and stiles, where this little profile is, you could go through and pre-finish them as well, but you want to make sure that you don't get any finish on where you're going to be gluing your stiles and everything. I'm actually not going to pre-finish my rails and stiles. I'm just going to pre-finish my panels, and then I will go back and do my rails and stiles once everything is assembled. I'll get the finish on them. So now the panels have their wash coat on them. I'm going to let them sit for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go back and wipe off any excess that that the wood might have given back. Sometimes wood takes and sometimes it gives back. But any that might have given back, I'm going to wipe off any excess. And then I'm going to set these aside and let them cure. And then we'll get to the glue up. So you will be seeing from me in about a week. Actually, you'll be seeing from me sooner than that, because while these are setting up and drying, we're going to go ahead and get started on the lid, bottom, and cedar lining for the panels. Okay? Talk to you soon. Be careful when you have beverages in the shop. Although they're refreshing, you never want to set your Dr. Pepper on your Porter cable saw.